are going to go through every ailment there is. You can't be worrying about that, because if we keep worrying about the trouble that the masses are in, we never cultivate anything among ourselves to get to the higher level in which the masses going to be a part of. Because ultimately, all this shit got to be destroyed. This shit is over.
I am inevitable.
Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, back again, full effect. Welcome to the Night and Day Network show. So we got to get into it, man. So White House up there deleting closed-in live streams that wasn't supposed to get posted, but of course, internet is so fast they got to catch it.
They got it.
Trump up there. Yep. Trump up there. Ooh. This is the prime example of why we say we need to stop paying taxes to these assholes. This is what he just said, prime example of why we said we need to stop paying taxes and stop supporting these people, man. Because the shit he said, we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get y'all time come in. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, like this video. If you can share it out, please share this live stream out. Let the people know we live. We got to get into PAM BONDI response after getting fired yesterday because over the Epstein stuff. But they put another person in puppet in place. This Ted guy, this Ted Blanche guy, Todd Blanche. I call him Ted. This Todd Blanche guy. Another puppet for them. But we're gonna get into it. We ain't gonna keep y'all too long, but we definitely had to tap in with y'all with this leaked ass video of Mr. Donald Trump up there in the closed-in speech that wasn't supposed to get out, talking about the priority fund it's all about the war. We don't care nothing about what the American people's going through domestically. That's basically what he said. He don't care about what people going through domestically.
I mean, his actions shows it anyway.
Right.
He ain't even got to say it. The actions are showing it. Actions speak louder than words.
Facts. All right, I'm trying to think. Should we get into this? All right, so we get into this one first before we get into Mr. Donald Trump. All right, so PAM BONDI speaks out after being fired. Oh, let me pull this up. Oh, shit. So PAM BONDI, y'all know, got fired yesterday. They said it was over, the Epstein shit and a lot of other things. So we're gonna get into it. So this is let me see. Pull this up. All right. Yeah. All right, so this is MS Now. They got a breakdown of this. Let's go ahead and get into this real quick. Make sure y'all like this video, double tap the screen, like this video. We live vertical and horizontal.
I'll start with you. PAM BONDI's original
let me know we good on audio.
She promised the Epstein client list.
Good.
In December, Susie Wiles told Chris Whipple in Vanity Fair, quote, "I think she completely whiffed on appreciating that was the very targeted group that cared about this. First, she gave them binders full of nothingness, and then she said that the witness list or the client list was on her desk. There is no client list, and it sure as hell wasn't on her desk."
Yeah, that's what she effed up at. We when we went live about that too, that's what she effed up at, is saying that the client list, she had the client list on her desk, and then later on in the press conference when they asked about Epstein, the client list, she said there wasn't no client list, that it was just the files. But she messed up because she said that she had the client, specifically said she had the client list of the Epstein client list on her desk.
So, Ken, why did it take this long for her to get fired?
Well, I think because, Antonia, my reporting suggests that although everything you said about her mishandling of the Epstein matter is correct and definitely set the stage for this day and lost her support in the Republican Party, an equally, if not more important factor in Donald Trump's mind was his dissatisfaction with her inability to carry forward the prosecutions that he wanted directed at his perceived political enemies. And I was talking to people inside the Justice Department today who are very frustrated about that, because their sense is that she was impeded not by any lack of will on her part, but by the legal system, by grand juries that refused to indict, and by judges who threw cases out against former FBI Director James Comey, for example, and the Attorney General Letitia James. So, and for that reason, she's being amply criticized today in these postmortems by Democrats who say she shattered the independence of the Justice Department and corruptly twisted it to the political whims of the White House by pursuing these investigations. But it wasn't enough for Donald Trump because she didn't get results. And I'm not sure that anybody is going to be able to get the kind of results that he's looking for. Remember, famously, he sent that message on Truth Social back in September, which may have been intended as a private message to Pam Bondi, where he was complaining that she wasn't moving fast enough against his enemies, Adam Schiff and James Comey and Letitia James. But there's no doubt, going back to the Epstein case, that dogged her because she promised the moon and then had to adopt the Justice Department position. Remember, they issued a statement saying, we don't plan to release any files. We don't think there's any reason to do that. There's certainly no grounds to indict anybody. That was the official Justice Department position. It was only after Congress got involved and passed this law that required them to release these files. And they did so by a lot of accounts poorly. They made mistakes. They redacted things that shouldn't have been redacted. They released the names of victims. And in the end, it appeared that they were pulling back things that were detrimental to Donald Trump, and then they would post them later.
See, and that's the thing. That's what the thing is, the Donald Trump, the whole thing of Trump, them trying to cover up what Trump was being mentioned in the Epstein files. They redacted all the stuff out of there of Donald Trump. I mean, the 13-year-old thing, we already kind of knew about that early on because that was put out there early on about Trump. But the Epstein files, they redacted everything out of there that had to do with anything with Donald Trump. If it was Don mentioned or don't mention, they redacted that just in case something got through the Epstein files. But that's what this whole this thing is about, because they got something on Trump. I believe that Israel got something on Trump through using Epstein, and they saying Putin got something on Trump as well. They saying Putin got some stuff on Trump because they was messing around with them Russians. You remember Bill Gates got caught messing around with 2 Russians, got chlamydia, and then passed it off to his wife. Then his wife had to divorce him behind that shit. So they was messing around with them Russian chicks. So you think Putin ain't had no chicks, some honeypot chicks to go in there and bribe some of these politicians over here in America by using Russian escorts?
Well, they said Epstein had ties to Russia, the Mossad, the CIA, and a couple of other organizations. He did work just for the global so-called elite. And the thing is, people don't realize that this global so-called elite, they all in cahoots together.
Right.
They're like, we think that these countries are against each other. We think that a lot of times the elite world leaders aren't against each other. They just act like they're against each other for the public, so they can create these wars and these scenarios so they can basically keep the regular people at a deficit.
Right.
Because that's all these wars do. Nobody, like the general public, never gain anything from these wars. All we do, we lose our kids and we lose our money.
Facts.
That's all that happens in war. Nobody can debate that. So all these world leaders are in on it because they want to keep the power structure for them. It's all about political power. It don't matter if the Democrat, Republican, it don't matter what country they from. It's just one big club that they rule the world and keep the people divided amongst each other. Have us fighting amongst each other about which politician is the best when all the politicians are really in on it. They all in on it together to basically keep us divided so they can keep their power structure in place. Because they live like kings, no matter if it's wartime or anything. While we suffer, while the general public suffer, all these world leaders and politicians, they get the best of everything. Them and their families get the best of everything. They get to live luxurious. While we have to always suffer the consequences. That's not by accident. So that we can't forget that. So we shouldn't be trusting any of these politicians as the general public. But you know what? To tell you the truth, the general public is deserve what they're getting right now, because it's up to us. We got to take responsibility for this now, because we see all the corruption that's coming out of all these governments. It's not even hidden anymore. If we want to be naive and believe that we're not being abused by these world leaders and these governments, then we deserve exactly what we get. Because we just being cowards and we fighting amongst each other, not realizing it's always been a club within themselves to basically keep their power structure within themselves, and the rest of us basically get nothing except arguing and fighting amongst each other. That's all it is.
Right, making the people basically slave for them.
Yeah.
Keep their power structure up.
Right.
Because it's our power, it's our energy is what's keep the power structure going.
Facts.
They use our energy, and energy in the form of currency. So currency is energy. So they basically use our work labor to basically keep fueling their lifestyles. Their private school, their children private schools, their yachts, their private jets.
Mm-hmm.
They can eat whatever they want. They can sex traffic children. They can sleep with young children and women against their will, and blackmail people, and all the shit they can do off the backs of American of citizens. I can't say just America. Global citizens. Right.
Yeah, this is a global thing. This is not even just about America.
Right.
This is a global thing. And the thing is, this is just how the power structure been ran for centuries. And the thing is, the people suffer. That is the cause of most of the suffering in the world.
People waking up though at a fast rate. And I'm glad this information age and the technology
is getting out.
Because there's always two sides to it's always duality. It's the flip side of it, that they're able to still monitor everyone and push everybody online and consolidate everything and push it on the internet. But the flip side of that is people actually getting the information at a faster rate and waking up at a faster rate. So they're meeting a lot of resistance because people waking up at a faster rate, which is a good thing. It has to play out both ways.
Right.
It has to play out that way. Let's continue though. Please double tap the screen, like this video, or hit the thumbs up button. Appreciate it. Share this live stream out if you can. But we're going over PAM Bondi basically responding why she got fired as well because of the Epstein thing and a lot of other things. So let's continue.
So it was a bit of a debacle, and it definitely lost her confidence among congressional Republicans. But I think at the end of the day, or at least my sources are saying, the deciding factor was Donald Trump's dissatisfaction with her inability to go as far as he wanted and putting his enemies essentially in jail.
Ken, we just got a new statement from Pam Bondi, so I want to read some of it. Over the next month, I will be working tirelessly to transition the Office of Attorney General to the amazing Todd Blanche before moving to an important private sector role I am thrilled about, and where I will continue fighting for President Trump and this administration. That's just the first of a couple short paragraphs. Tara, I imagine today, or actually I don't have to imagine because we just had Stacey Williams on in the last hour.
So what position is she taking after Attorney General? She's going into the private sector. Then what you think she's going in the private sector to do? She said she's excited about going into the private sector. So the mission continues.
Right.
But for many of the victims, today must be a bit hard. While they may be grateful to hear that Pam Bondi, someone who they have described as basically refusing to meet with them, look them in the eye famously during a hearing, that the person who has taken her job is the guy who flew down to talk with Ghislaine Maxwell. And then the main thing, at least from many of their points of view, that came out of that was just that Ghislaine Maxwell got better digs, not that they got any more justice and accountability. What kinds of conversations are you having with the network, the community of survivors today?
Yeah, they're really disappointed, but I mean, they're also equally angry at Pam Bondi. They felt that she never took them seriously. Like you said, she wouldn't even turn around to acknowledge them when they were standing behind her during a congressional hearing, and they were standing up behind her. She just wouldn't even acknowledge it, said that she didn't want to get into the gutter with the congresswoman. That was Pramila Jayapal, who was directing the questions at them. There was a really heartbreaking moment for me when I heard from one of the survivors. This was shortly after the first batch of Epstein files were released, and the survivor was really hoping to meet with Pam Bondi, and she said that they had a meeting in the books, and actually told me this off the record at the time, because she felt that if I had reported on it, that it might cause the meeting to be canceled. That's how much hope she was gripping onto, and how desperately she felt that if she could only see Pam Bondi face to face, she could reason with her woman to woman and explain why this justice is so important for them and the other survivors after decades of being ignored by various justice departments led by men. I mean, this was the first woman to lead a justice department, and they really hoped that they could break through. And then at the last minute, that meeting was canceled by Pam Bondi.
Well, this is the first woman to lead the Justice Department. But also, as you know, Tara, earlier in her career, she had made prosecuting people who abused children, sex offenders, as a major part of her identity. I mean, another version of Pam Bondi, when she was working in Florida, there were some people who thought that this might be something she might take very seriously. Barb, I want your thoughts on what comes.
People got to understand that these people get put in position. They're not in there to go against the establishment. They're in there for the establishment. So Pam Bondi going in there, she's not going to do anything against the people that she's working for. None of these people are. That's what we got to understand. Unless they're going to, they're going to come out and separate themselves and become a whistleblower. While they're working in there, it's nothing they can get done that's going to benefit the American citizens. Nothing.
The government, the United States government, is not there to benefit the citizens.
They're not.
The United States government is there to keep their power structure in place and basically keep us divided. Because exactly. I mean, all you see from the American citizens are we all in the same struggle, whether Democrat or Republican, but they still got a lot of us arguing about who's worse and who's better. When both wings are on the same bird or on the same plane, that's basically flying us into destruction.
Both flying on the Epstein.
Both wings.
I mean,
yep.
Epstein
both wings on private. Yep, on Epstein's private jet. Yep.
Or
both
people
Democrats
like Epstein.
And Republicans.
Right.
Yep.
Let's not forget Epstein is still out here operating, and that's just the idea of Epstein. Like, it might not be Epstein himself, but the organization still continue. The sex trafficking is still taking place. The pedophilia and all that's still taking place. So Epstein being dead or Gaisley being in jail doesn't stop a goddamn thing. So
and every once in a while inside of their club, a fight breaks out and they end up throwing some of their own. They end up throwing some of their own to the masses.
Right. Every once in a while somebody gets shot at the crap game. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gets shot at the crap table. Right.
Next here, because of course, Democrats are trying to make clear that they still expect her to show up in just a matter of days to testify under oath. But our colleague Michael Schnell is reporting that, at least from Chairman Comer at Oversight, that from a spokesperson that she's been in touch with, they're re-reviewing that, basically looking to see if her coming before lawmakers is still going to be necessary. In your view, will she still need to show up and testify under oath?
Well, it seems that until Congress gets answers to its questions, somebody needs to come and testify under oath. Perhaps Todd Blanche is a better person to come and testify under oath if he's going to be leading the department. But I think many of the questions...
Todd Blanche ain't nothing but another puppet. There's nothing Todd Blanche going to do anything different from Pam Bondi. He's not going to do anything different from Pam Bondi, but follow orders, follow instructions, and become the puppet that he is. That's it. Simple and plain. There's nothing he's going to do different. Pam Bondi is the same as Todd Blanche. There's no difference.
That remain unanswered. relate to the Epstein files, the redactions, the failure to follow up on investigations, the failure to pursue investigations against people identified in those files. And so testimony under oath, I think, is important from a high-level official at the Justice Department. But it may be that if I were a member of Congress thinking about that, I might
Correction,
prefer
that's
to make it
Injustice
Todd
Department.
Blanche. He is going forward
Right.
going to be the
Injustice
leader
I
of the
gotta
Justice
correct this
Department, at
lady.
least
It's
in the
Injustice Department.
Injustice Department, right? 'Cause
Yeah, we
nobody
gotta
got
correct them.
right. There's no justice for this Epstein shit. So Injustice Department, right?
Barely any
So
justice for
her-
anything on
For
this
anybody,
planet.
right? For
Yeah.
anybody, right?
And he played a key role in overseeing the production and the redaction of the Epstein files. And so I think at this point, I might prefer to go after Blanche, who's still got some skin in the game, as opposed to Bondi, who might be a convenient person for the Trump administration to throw
Justice
under the bus.
Department.
David,
Trump administration.
we know from Ashley
Trump.
Parker, who I had on in the last hour, that
Trump.
Blanche is hoping that this interim job becomes a permanent job. He'd like to stay in the role. She even says that at times he's basically felt like he was always a better fit for it than Bondi was. But then we also know from the reporting that Lee Zeldin thinks he's going to be up for the job. Can you tell us a bit about how they're viewed among conservatives, and if you have a position on who's most likely to come out as the actual Trump pick here?
You know, that's a really good question. I would say Todd Blanche, his star has risen in MAGA over the course of the last 12 months. He's been the Trump enforcer. He has been the very tip of the spear. He's somebody who's kind of taken part of the lead in politicizing the Department of Justice. And so this is a guy who I don't think that anyone in MAGA would question his commitment to doing exactly what Trump tells him to do. Now, I don't think he'll have any more success than Pam Bondi had because, you know, as we said earlier, she was running up against the justice system. She was running up against federal judges. She was running up against grand juries. I don't think Todd Blanche will have better success. Lee Zeldin, I would say, is more universally respected amongst Republicans than, say, a Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche might be more narrow cast MAGA. I think Lee Zeldin is somebody who has a wider degree of respect within Republican circles. But both of them are going to face the same issue. They're going to face unreasonable demands from an unreasonable boss that they cannot possibly deliver because they do not control the judiciary. They do not control juries. And so we're just going to see this cycling, this escalating discontent and cycling as even people like a Pam Bondi who will abandon all of the DOJ standards for Trump still cannot bend federal judges to their will. And that's the firewall. That's the firewall right now that's frustrating Trump. And no attorney general can do a darn thing about that.
Well, David, no attorney general can do a thing about the juries, the judges, the facts in any one of these cases. But do you think either, at least just to take these two, Blanche and Zeldin, do you think either of them have the ability to build a new type of relationship with the Epstein survivors, to take a different approach, to look them in the eye, to show more empathy than we've seen from this DOJ?
Maybe, but then anytime
DOJ don't give a shit about them Epstein victims. They don't. They don't care nothing about the Epstein victims. Let's just get that out the way. They're not going to show any empathy towards any Epstein victim at all. So if they looking for empathy, if them Epstein victims are looking for empathy, they're not going to get it. See, the thing about it, them Epstein victims need to be exposing these motherfuckers that they encountered during the time Epstein was in power. They need to expose that shit.
Well, the problem with that is a lot of them will get killed before they're able to do
Yeah,
that.
right.
Because a lot of the people who was involved with Epstein are high-ranking officials. People from NSA, people from NASA, people from the DOJ, people from the White House. These are people who got everybody's under surveillance, and they got hit teams ready to take people out who's going to talk.
Right.
That's what's going on here, because the corruption runs that high. The corruption goes all the way to the Oval Office, all the way to the DOJ, all of those, all the way to Congress. Like the corruption runs deep. Like American government, like I said before, is the most rogue. They are the most rogue government on the planet right now. United States
Right.
government is the most corrupt on the planet right now, and Israel is just an extension of the United States.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yep.
You're doing that, you're running headlong against Donald Trump, because it's very clear that Donald Trump wants all of this Epstein stuff completely, totally behind him. And so any empathy you show towards victims, any sort of consideration you give them, is giving more oxygen to something that Donald Trump quite obviously just wants to go away. And so this is one of those very tiny few areas where MAGA and Trumpism diverge, because MAGA has traditionally been super alarmed and concerned about Epstein. Trump, not so much, because of his obvious entanglements. And so here's where Trumpism departs from MAGA, and Trump is the head of the executive branch. And I don't think Blanche or Zeldin will have 1 millimeter of room to maneuver on the Epstein case without Trump, watching them like a hawk.
Wow. And that's what we saying. All right, we got
Somebody said, why Biden spent 4 years and nobody talked about Epstein. People was talking about Epstein while Biden was in there, but it doesn't even matter. Tell you the truth, it don't even matter, because the corruption continues no matter who's in there. It could be Biden in there, it could be Kamala in there, it could be Trump in there. The corruption is still going to go on because both political parties are guilty. Both political parties are rogue. All these politicians, all these government officials are 100% scumbags.
Right.
All of them. Capital ALL. All of them are scumbags. $40 trillion in debt. And they still dragging us, to war.
Let me remind them real quick. Let's just
Please bring that back up.
Quick reminder of, stop thinking this shit is about Democrat and Republican, because it ain't.
It's not. No.
This is a global organized crime network we're talking about.
Right.
They just separate us to get us fighting amongst each other while they at the top playing Monopoly and shit. Playing Monopoly with our fucking currency. Let's get out right now. We don't give a shit about MAGA, Democrat, Republican, whatever politician you put in there. We don't give a shit about them because they ain't for the American people. So we ain't for them. Simple and plain.
They all scumbags.
Y'all could come here and try to separate the two if y'all want. They both was in the Epstein files. They both continue to support war, genocide, Israel, pedophilia, sex trafficking, slave labor, and they're running it all that shit up off our money. Look, 39 trillion. That's our money right there they running up. That's the bill that we got to foot for these sex trafficking ass bastards. That right there, $39 fucking trillion. So get that fucking Democrat Republican shit out your mind right now, because that shit ain't about two sides. That shit is about one fucking global organized crime that's working against the fucking citizens globally, not just in America, globally. Epstein files is proof of that. And it goes already all the way over there to the fucking monarchs over there in Great Britain, Vatican, France, fucking all them came out, all that shit came out about them being in the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. The France prime ministers, the monarchs over there in France, goddamn Great Britain, all them motherfuckers was involved with Epstein. So we got to get the Democrat Republican shit out of our minds right now. This shit is a global organized crime syndicate. Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg Group, Council on Foreign Relations. We got to get it out of our minds right now. Trump don't give a fuck.
The brainwashing is so strong. The fact that people believe that any of these politicians, rather Democrat or Republican, is for the American people.
Trump don't give a fuck about y'all. Trump is the GOAT all you want. I bet you Trump ain't for your ass. He's in the Epstein files. He's in the Epstein files for fucking with a 13-year-old. That could be your daughter. That could be your daughter getting sex trafficked at 13 to these fucking organized crime bastards.
Well, some of these people are so brainwashed that they probably would traffic their own kids to Trump. That's how crazy. That's how far the brainwashing goes. Especially if they feel like they can get something out of it. Those are the type of people that follow these. The people who's like, no matter how much corruption that these politicians do, they still follow them blindly. They will sell their own kids into that.
Nah, he just spamming here. You know the Agent Smith's got to come in here and spam and shit. You know the Agent Smith's got to come in here, knowing damn well, like we said, these politicians don't give a shit, and this debt clock is showing your ass that they don't give a shit. Now we're gonna get into Trump leaked video. That's what we came here for too. And he said out his own goddamn mouth. This is proof that he don't give a fuck about American citizens. Y'all can vote for this. Y'all can hooray this motherfucker all day. But this leaked video that the White House quickly deleted wasn't supposed to get out because it was an enclosed session that got out. Let's get into it. I'm glad the internet is the internet and it catches every goddamn thing. Let's get into a quick commercial break, man. This video is sponsored by nightandayherbals.com, where you can get natural herbal products without chemicals sold by the corporations. Because we get chemically getting bombed by these goddamn corporations as well. That's why we came up with a solution to sell herbal, natural products to combat all this shit that they're attacking us with. So let's get into this quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned because we got to get into this Trump leak video that the White House tried to quickly cover up and delete.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.
All right, the link to our shop is in the description of this video and pinned to the chat. All right. All right, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into this shit. Let me pull this back up real quick. All right. So I'm glad they caught this shit. All right, hold on me. All right, so this is MS Now. The White House accidentally released a video of Trump saying the truth about the war's priority. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right.
Before I play you this next very instructive clip, I want to note that the only reason we have it is because the White House seemingly accidentally posted a live stream of it, which they then tried to delete, but not before the internet saved it for posterity. And just for context, Donald Trump starts by referring to the head of the Office of Management and Budget, the Christian nationalist author of Project 2025, Russell Vought.
We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. We have to guard the country.
Motherfucker. What the fuck we paying federal tax for, you bitch ass nigga, for saying some shit like that? Why we gotta pay federal tax where our state, our money have to take care of some shit? Why the fuck are we paying federal taxes then? This nigga taking our country to fucking war, draining our economy, and then gonna say we're responsible for some shit that we're actually paying federal tax to. What the fuck is wrong with these people, yo? That's what we be trying to tell y'all. They don't give a fuck about the American citizens. I don't give a fuck who you put in office. What the fuck is we talking about here? Y'all crazy as shit, man. This shit now, they deleted this. The White House had to quickly delete this shit. Let's continue, man.
All right. All these little scams that have taken place, like that little
Fucking
scam daycare. Joining me now is Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen, member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Y'all
Let's throw
crazy.
some numbers out at you. Apparently, the Penn-Wharton budget model says this war has cost $65 billion so far. White House is asking for $200 billion. for it.
This war already cost us $68 billion, and they asking for $200 billion more. Yo, what the fuck is going on up there? Y'all mean to tell me y'all still support this shit? This
His
motherfucker
solution is raise the state. His solution is raise the state taxes. When the federal taxes is high as shit, and the state taxes already high, and the prices and stuff is going up, and basically they got us in a war that's basically making gas and all energy very expensive. So they want all Americans broke. That's basically, they want us all homeless and broke. That's exactly that's their goal. And I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. Everybody who gets in that office, they all got one goal. We have to bankrupt the American citizen. We have to make sure the American citizen is completely broke after all of this. We have to drain all their savings, drain all their 401ks, and we're going to keep on raising the taxes even higher. We're going to keep on making sure the gas prices are higher. We're going to keep making sure food prices go higher, and we're going to make sure that at the end of all of this, they have nothing left to their name. And we know what we're going to do at the end of that. We're going to raise taxes again. That's basically their solution.
Did y'all hear?
That's basically what's going on here.
60 trillion.
It's an economic war against the general public.
Right. And they're trying to bankrupt the global economy as well. $68 billion they already spent on this war, and they asking for $200 billion more. And y'all are coming in here talking about Trump, Democrat, Republican with the same bullshit. Do this not supersedes past Democrat, Republican, where they're asking for $200 trillion more after spending $68 trillion on a war, a senseless fucking war nobody asked for? The American citizens ain't asked for this shit, and we ain't asked for high gas prices neither, and high ass food prices behind this shit. Y'all crazy as shit, man. Look, Americans get what they deserve. They get what they deserve.
The economy right now.
American citizens get what they deserve by supporting this shit.
They're intentionally.
Let's see how you feel. Yeah, let's see how you feel about your master Trump or any of these fucking politicians after your family is in the street in a fucking tent city, sleep under a fucking tent because they draining our fucking economy. Let's see how y'all feel then. Let's see if y'all still support this shit at the end of the day.
Tomahawk missiles alone are $3 billion. They take a year.
Tomahawk missiles alone, $3 billion, bro. $3 fucking billion.
Year to two to build per missile. We've spent $3 billion on them. This is in a country where we had Doge ripping apart the government last year. We had people not getting their food stamps. We have people not getting their Obamacare subsidies. But we're spending somewhere between $65 billion and $200 billion on a war that no one is able to explain.
Well, Ali, that's right. And we should all remember that during the campaign, candidate Donald Trump promised that he would keep us out of foreign wars and focus instead on trying to make things better right here at home. Instead, he is, along with Prime Minister Netanyahu, started a foreign war. Prices are going up. And now he says, well, we've got to pay for this war in Iran by cutting back on federal investments. You played the clip with Childcare, but there are also other points in that speech where he talks about cutting Medicaid, cutting Medicare. So the bottom line is the president who said he wouldn't start a war now wants to pay for it by cutting deeply into American healthcare programs and other programs that help American families here at home.
But that's not that surprising, is it, Senator? I mean, you go back to the history of wars that America has started. One group tends to benefit from this very well, either oil producers or munitions makers. I mean, that's the nature of the game. It becomes too much money that we have to pay for a war, so you're going to have to cut it from the people who can least afford it.
Wow.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you've got defense contractors who are going to be raking it in, and other folks who are close to the president are going to be raking it in. But the American people will suffer. And of course, this comes on top of what Donald Trump and Republicans in Washington did last year, right? They passed their so-called big, beautiful bill, which was beautiful if you're a billionaire. You got really big tax cuts. But to partially pay for that, they cut Medicaid, they cut food nutrition programs. So now comes this year, and Donald Trump goes off and starts a war and says, well, we're going to have to cut back on Medicare. We're going to have to cut back on Medicaid. We're going to have to cut back on our efforts to make childcare more affordable. So at the end of the day, he is.
This war is costing us $1 trillion. At the end of the day, it's going to, because they plan on prolonging this war as long as possible, which is going to go well over trillions, into the trillions, bleeding our fucking economy dry to the point where there's going to be tent cities. There are already tent cities set up all over America, but they're planning on it's going to be even more homeless. That's why they're trying to bring the military in on the street, because they know it's going to be a revolution behind this type of shit. You think the armed American citizens really going to sit back and watch their family starve without doing something about it? That's why they bring the military in to occupy America, because they know they're about to catch blowback behind this shit. They're trying to make every American citizens homeless because they're trying to take over the Middle East, supporting Israel. Are you crazy? This shit is ridiculous.
Screwing the American people.
Shit is ridiculous.
And doing exactly what he said he was going to avoid. He said he was going to focus on things here at home, keep us out of foreign wars. He's done exactly the opposite.
I was talking to Ben Rhodes about this a minute ago. I want to play it for you, something that he said about gas prices in the Oval Office. Let's listen.
Gas prices, today they hit $4.
We're $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in 6 months.
But Americans are feeling the effects in the interim.
And they're also feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan to bring them?
Motherfucker, we can protect our motherfucking selves. That's why we still allowed to arm ourselves. We don't need you to protect us from no fucking Iran. Iran don't have no fucking missiles that can even reach America. If y'all still believe this shit, they're using the same tactics they used to go into Iraq, to go into all these other fucking countries. Y'all really believe that Iran is a danger to America? Are you fucking shitting me?
I don't even think Iran have a strong navy to even bring submarines or ships over here to launch missiles into our cities.
Nothing.
They don't have nothing. All this is a ploy to basically bankrupt Americans and basically leave us all in the poorhouse. So companies like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard can reorganize everything and basically take over everything, so everything is public and there's no more private anything. And then they could control who does what and who don't do what. That's basically all this is about. We're finally at the end of our ropes, to the point where the financial stuff is about to get so bad, because we're at literally going to $40 trillion in debt, and they expect American citizens to pay that debt off, which is impossible. We couldn't pay that debt off in a million years.
That's why they want to.
It's impossible.
Right. That's why they want to go into the digital crypto space and switch the whole financial to the digital crypto.
Yep. With digital IDs.
Put everything on the blockchain. Everything on the blockchain.
Yep. So they can control all of our finances with one click of a button. They could control our whole life with one click of a button. That's what this is all boiling down to.
That's all this shit is about.
Why they got us fighting amongst who's better. Why they got us fighting about who's better, a Republican or a Democrat.
That's all this shit is about at the end of the day. It's bankrupting the old system so they can bring about this digital cryptocurrency. That's all this shit is about. It's about nothing else. So let's continue. Let's hear the rest of this bullshit.
down.
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon, and they'll become tumbling down.
We're not going to have a country that's going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in 6 months. That's just nonsensical talk. There's no. I mean, you know these things. You're on serious committees in the Senate. There was no discussion about Iran throwing a nuclear weapon at America in 6 months or 6 years.
It was a complete and total lie, Ali. And, you know, the president himself, you know, told the country last year that he had
Obliterated it.
Iran's nuclear enrichment program, obliterated it. And then his DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, testified publicly the other day that Iran has made no effort to try to reconstitute that nuclear enrichment program. And so that was just a complete and total lie. And as you and Ben Rhodes discussed, I mean, they're nowhere near any kind of ballistic missile that can reach the United States. So this was all a fabrication by the President of the United States to try to justify his actions while Americans are hurting here at home. We've lost 13 of our service members, hundreds wounded. As you discussed, thousands of civilians killed in the region. And we're paying $2 billion a day, we, the American taxpayers, while gas prices are going up. And now Donald Trump says, well, you know, we've got to cut back on other investments that are important to the American people. This war should never have started. We should end it now. Donald Trump is talking about asking for another $200 billion. And I can tell you, Ali, I won't vote for one more dime for this illegal war of choice.
I think we're going to find a lot of people on both sides of the aisle who are going to say, no one has given us an explanation as to why we need to be spending another dime on this war. Senator, good to see you as always. Thank you for joining us.
Wow. Wow. Let me just remind y'all again.
The national debt clock, 39 trillion.
39 trillion, on the way to $40 trillion of taxpayers' money to fight senseless wars that have nothing to do with us. They over there assisting Israel with our tax dollars. We didn't ask for this shit. You know, they do the old bait and switch. They say, yeah, we're not.
And then talking about cutting American programs that benefit Americans.
Right. It's just crazy. This is insane. This is insane. And people really still think that this man or whatever person they put in that Oval Office for the American citizens. This proves it. Let me pull up this video, the unedited version that the White House quickly snatched down. They quickly snatched this video down fast as shit. Because they know the American citizens hear some shit like this. They gonna be like, what the hell? All right, so this is the video unedited that the White House quickly deleted. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
No value.
Volume. No volume. All right, let me reshare it, y'all. My bad. Yeah, it's probably the sound probably went out. All right, let me reshare it for y'all. This is the deleted video that the White House quickly snatched down that wasn't supposed to get out.
States can't take care of daycare.
All right, let me restart it back over again. All right, here we go.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection, because the United States can't.
He said, we can't take it. Then why are we paying federal tax then, dickhead? If you're Yo, this shit is crazy, bro. Let me play this shit again for y'all. Play this shit one more time for y'all.
Take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things. They can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection, because the United States can't take care of.
It's not, and it's just not about daycare. He's talking about cutting all domestic funding and moving it over to the military. That means Medicare, Medicaid, anything that has to do with the American citizens benefit, all going to military. But this the guy y'all said is the man. He's the man for it, right? He's the guy, right? Even though we know he's a puppet on the string.
Exactly what I was about to say. It don't matter
Yeah.
who's standing there talking right now. They all going to do the same agenda. It's always been this plan. Because you gotta think about it, the $39 trillion that's keep rising. Like that's been happening no matter who was in office. It don't matter who's in office. The government is still doing too much spending. It's still 100% rogue. They still commit so many crimes against humanity. They still over there bombing countries up who ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Definitely not a threat to us over here. Why do American citizens need military protection from Iran?
We don't.
Why would we need military protection from Venezuela?
We don't.
Or Greenland or Cuba or any of those. Most of those countries don't even have a navy. They can't even come over here if they wanted to.
Their objective is to take over these countries, to take over natural resources, so they could basically put it all on the blockchain. That's it. That's it. It's about nothing else. This country is the only country that ever nuked somebody. We nuked
exactly what I was about to address.
We nuked Hiroshima. No other country in the world ever dropped a nuke on someone but America. Y'all gotta stop with this hypocritical shit. America is the only one that ever used a nuke on fucking Japan.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of America using a nuke than any other country. I'm gonna be honest with you. America is the country that you gotta be about when it comes to dropping nuclear bombs, because in history we're the only country who have done that. Talking about, have we ever heard of nukes? Yeah, of course we heard of nukes, because America loves dropping nukes.
Y'all gotta wake the fuck up. Y'all gotta wake up.
And to tell you the truth, who's to say that nukes in Iran is a threat to the United States? Who's to say that Iran nuke program is as good as they claim that it is? First of all, Iran could be bluffing, and the United States could just be making that up just so they can basically invade and basically hit them with. How do we know that their nuke program is even work properly? Same thing with North Korea, because it's all propaganda. No one ain't dropping no nukes no time soon, unless only one. If you was scared of somebody dropping a nuke, it'll probably be the United States. United States love nukes according to history, because we dropped them. People trying to make up any excuse to defend this mass genocide that's taking place. Yeah, that's why I said a lot of us deserve what's going on, because a lot of us is this brainwashed to the fact that we believe anything that these politicians say, whether Democrat, Republican, if they could destroy everything that we've ever been, and people will still make a justification for it. You just can't. People just not going to see it, man. It got what have to happen. It have to be basically a damn near extinction level event for people to open up their eyes. It have to be a damn near extinction level event, man. It literally have to come to that at this point. People are so brainwashed. So brainwashed.
The Epstein files.
Iran had how long did Iran had those so-called nukes? Have they ever dropped one? Have Iran ever dropped a nuke on it? Have Iran ever pressed the nuke button?
No, they didn't even talk about this Iran
I don't
shit
think
for the past 30
Americans are
years.
scared. I don't think Americans are scared of no goddamn. If you scared of a nuke from Iran because Trump said so, you brainwashed. You brainwashed. Nobody ain't looking outside waiting for nukes from Iran to come flying over their house. Come on, man. Y'all tried to do the same thing with the Cold War and with Russia, saying that Russia was going to nuke us. People fall for. That's why they keep pulling off the same scams, because people fall for the same shit all the time. Got everybody scared that somebody's going to drop a nuke.
Well, they always
Ain't
have to
nobody
create the
dropping a
boogeyman.
nuke.
Well, they always have to create the boogeyman for, the excuse to start going into these countries, man, and take over the natural resources. So they want the crude oil, they want the uranium, they want the gold, and they want the silver. So that's what it's really all about, taking over the country's natural resources. That's it. They need an excuse to go in there because they need to basically they want us to, get behind them by saying there's a threat so they can use our tax dollars to go start invading these countries. But the thing about it, Americans didn't ask for this shit.
Nope.
Did any of y'all ask them to go into anybody in the chat? Did any of y'all ask them to go into Iran or any other country? Palestine, Iran, motherfucking any other country. Did any of y'all ask for that? Did any of y'all ask for y'all tax dollars to go to that shit? Did any of y'all ask for high ass gas prices and high food prices? Did any of y'all ask for that shit? Did any of y'all vote for that shit? Did any of y'all want that? It's okay. Y'all can type it in the chat.
The people who's brainwashed by the whole MAGA shit definitely wanted that. They want whatever Trump wanted. Even if it come down to sacrificing their own kids, they'd be okay with that.
Somebody said we don't know how the economy works. I think we know exactly how the fucking economy works. I mean, they're just sending all our tax monies over to Israel and Ukraine and all these other places to basically fight fucking senseless wars that we have nothing to do with.
People that say make these claims that we don't know what we're talking about, they never have the answer though. They just say, oh, you're dumb, you're a moron because you don't believe in Trump, or you dumb, you're a moron because you don't believe in Biden, or you don't know how this works. But they never explain. All they do is call people names. And on this channel, we tell people how this stuff works all the time. We know exactly how this economy works. Is fraud, is a pyramid scheme set up through the central banks that we basically keep pulling money from these central banks, and American people have to pay interest on every dollar. That's how it's set up. And these central banks aren't even part of the government.
They're private sector. They're private entities. So do you need us to do the history? Do you need us to go back to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, sold out by Wilson Woodrow, where they met at the Jekyll Island? J.P. Morgan, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all met at the Jekyll Island.
The
Warburgs, to discuss how they was going to implement this Federal Reserve Act so they could use central banks to basically bankrupt our country. Do we need to go into the history of this shit saying we don't know how the fucking economy works? Most people don't even fucking know that. And that's the basics.
Right. And
They're gonna
that
come in
wasn't
here
even
and say,
about them. That wasn't about Democrats or Republicans. They didn't give a shit about no Democrats or Republicans. All they cared about was installing a central bank into the United States and them basically becoming leeches. And it's called fractional
right,
reserve banking.
right,
They loan us basically dollars with high interest attached to every dollar, which
do we need to
causes
go
us
into
to
right,
hyperinflate. So we have hyperinflation, which basically been devaluing our money. That's why back in the day you could go get a full cart of groceries for only like $40, but now
right.
today $100 only get you 3 items.
Yeah, $100 get you 3 to 4 items, depending on what you're
Yep,
buying.
3 to 4 items. Yep. It ain't because the money is it ain't because the prices are going higher. It's because our money is devaluing because of fractional reserve banking. They basically loaning out the debt, so they basically entering into the system the amount of debt, but they entering it in there like money that we have, and they loaning that out. They loaning that out. These financial institutions is loaning out that debt. It's just 100% scam on all fronts. A big pyramid scheme.
Facts. Meanwhile, they got Epstein type people set up, which our tax dollars is actually going into and funding these Epstein type characters. And meanwhile, all this shit is going on. They're busy setting up the new financial system. They already signed in the Genius Act already. Now they're working on the Clarity Act. Most people don't even know what the fuck going on, bro.
I noticed that.
I think mainstream media, I think mainstream media got people minds white because they don't even know what the fuck going on.
I realize that a lot of people don't. They don't know what's going on. And I guess that's gonna be our downfall because ignorance is basically gonna cause destruction. Being ignorant is you're just gonna be destroyed because of your ignorance.
Right.
Oh, then somebody mentioned the petrodollar deal. Yeah, that too. That helped along once they removed us from the gold standard and basically set up that deal with Saudi Arabia to where they'd be able to. Saudi Arabia only accept United States dollars for their oil. So now, that turned our money into the petrodollar, and all the gold basically was rushed out the back door. So America's basically 100% broke. We ain't got nothing to offer.
Ain't got shit to offer.
Except military protection.
Right. We ain't even got no export.
And the military protection ain't even for us. Military protection is for places like Saudi Arabia and Israel. Because the American citizens are not in danger from Iranians.
No, we not.
American citizens are not faring Iranians.
No, we in danger of our
and
own
Trump
government.
already admitted that over there to assist Israel. So that's literally not any threat to us. That's Israel's beef. The general public, like when they say, "Oh, thank you for your service and for keeping us safe," so when we say that to the troops, thank you for your service for keeping us safe over here, and all, like that don't ring true for most of these wars. Like they not keeping us safe over here. Like Iran is literally no threat to United States citizens. I'm telling you, if Iran tried to send people over here, they wouldn't even make it.
They wouldn't even.
If somebody gave them a navy, submarines, and they were actually able to somehow make it onto our shores and on our land, they wouldn't even make it, man.
Nah.
American citizens would take them out before
Yeah.
our military can even respond.
Right. This is the
Like
last
that's not
country
even.
on earth where the citizens are allowed to be armed. The last country on earth
I
where
mean,
the citizens
other people are armed in other countries, but yeah, legally, yeah, how we're
legally,
able to be armed in the
legally,
United States, yeah,
open
right.
carry state at shit like that, at that open carry. So you mean to tell me that we don't have fear Iran, where we're still allowed to have our arms? That don't make sense.
And the thing is, Trump ain't even really behind this. He's just the face of it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you who's really behind all this shit. Is the people who own the corporations and the banks. They the
Right.
ones that's behind this. That's who Trump worked for. That's who all these politicians work for.
And
That's
that's
who
who
the
Epstein
DOJ
worked for.
work for. They all work for these international bankers. And the international bankers work for the people in the monarchy. And the monarchy work for the Vatican. Vatican work for the aristocratic black nobility families. And that's basically what it is. That's what it is. And it's a global network. It's a global network.
With
And Trump's just an actor.
right. What Epstein said in that interview with Steve Bannon, he said I was recruited by the Rockefellers. I worked for the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds directly. They recruited me, and I joined the Trilateral Commission.
Right.
That was Epstein himself telling you that shit. In that interview he did, that leak interview with Steve Bannon.
Right.
Are we right or are we wrong? Let us know. We wrong or we right? Did Epstein admit that he worked for the Rothschilds and Rockefellers directly and was recruited to join the Trilateral Commission? Are we right or are we wrong? He said out his own mouth. Do I need to pull up the video to remind y'all?
Well, some of these brainwashed individuals don't even know what the Trilateral Commission is. You know, the people who's 100% brainwashed by the media, they say that we're saying we're conspiracy theorists. That's what they would say. They would say that the Trilateral Commission is a conspiracy. They would say that the Trilateral Commission is a conspiracy theory. They would say that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers is a conspiracy theory.
Why would Epstein say that shit out of his own mouth?
That's the type of people that we're working with.
I think everybody's pretty much caught up on who the Rockefellers and Rothschilds is. I'm like, if you ain't caught up on that shit by now, then you probably like far behind. I think everybody pretty much should be caught up on that at least.
They're gonna say it's all a conspiracy theory.
Is everyone in here caught up on the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers? Is everyone in here that's in here caught up on that at least? The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers? Or any of the bloodlines? I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all should be caught up on that at least.
They're gonna say it's a conspiracy theory. They're gonna say it's a conspiracy theory that big business really owns the White House and owns Congress. They say conspiracy, or they just completely block that out, act like they didn't hear you, and just say we love Trump or we love Biden and Kamala. They block everything you say out. They won't even hear it. All they say is you're a moron or you're an idiot. Or they won't hear anything you say when it comes to the actual of who these people are and who's really running shit. They just completely block that out and say, if you ain't for my favorite politician who I love, then you're an idiot.
Right. It's crazy.
That's the mind of, and I honestly believe these people. I said this before on the live stream. I honestly believe these people have no soul. Like no way your body, your vessel will contain a soul, and you're that mindless. Because a vessel that contains a soul cannot be that mindless. No fucking way you can be that mindless and have a soul
All
inside
right.
of your body. No way.
So let me just play this clip real quick. This is Lex Wexner when he did the deposition. Lex Wexner, CEO of Victoria's Secret. This is out of his own mouth. He was friends with Epstein. But let's just play this little small clip.
Ain't no volume.
There's no volume?
No volume. No.
All right, let me reshare this shit again. Sometimes with the stream, the sound goes out. Let me play it back. Let me play it back for y'all. All right, so this is like I said, this is Lex Wexner, CEO of Victoria's Secret, also client of Epstein. So let's play this. Let's hear what he has to say.
Personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there have been a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. Answer the question. Doing personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there have been a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos.
So y'all still think it's about Democrat and Republican? Let me pull this clip up. Let's hear it out the horse's mouth.
Brainwashed individuals still think it's about Democrats and Republicans.
Let's hear it out.
Most of our watchers, the people who watch us faithfully, they know it ain't about no damn Democrat nor Republican.
All right.
We know that both sides are corrupt.
All right, so let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself. This is your boy Jeffrey Epstein.
David Rockefeller and I got along very well. He formed something called the Trilateral Commission. People said it was something, people that the Illuminati, there's some mystery about it, people that ran the world. So he said to me, would you like to be on the Trilateral Commission? I said, great. I was interested, I was on the board of Rockefeller. So that starts, Rockefeller University, formed by John D. Rockefeller. There was a money manager who said, Rockefeller needs someone with financial expertise because the university is growing. David Rockefeller and I got along very well. He formed something called the Trilateral Commission.
Do we need I say more? Need I say more? That's him himself saying he worked for the Rockefellers in the Trilateral Commission as a financial advisor. They work for Israel. Jacob Rothschild came forward and said that the Rothschilds set up the state of Israel back in 1948.
Facts.
Their family started Israel. It's the Rothschild.
It was Walter, specifically Walter.
Yeah, Walter Rothschild, right? Their uncle.
The uncle of Jacob Rothschild.
They set up the state of Israel.
Right.
Zionists, the whole Zionist movement.
He said his uncle Walter was the head of the Zionist movement, and they made sure that they made sure that East European Jews settled in Palestine, and they worked deals out with Palestine to let them Jews settle there, and they were the head of the Zionist movement, and they the treaty between Palestine and their newfound state called Israel within Palestine in 1948. This was literally the Rothschilds, and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are literally basically cousins. And Epstein worked for the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, who basically funds Israel. And Trump loves Israel. Trump and Epstein was a couple at one point. You see videos together laughing and you know, checking out the babes, the young
checking out the babes at the party.
12, 13-year-old babes that they
Hold on, let me pull this up. Since y'all think Trump is on y'all side, let me just pull this up just to remind y'all. Let me just pull this up because for y'all,
well, we know he loves Israel, and we know Israel's the Rothschilds and Rockefellers.
Let me just pull this little segment up just to remind y'all real quick, just to show y'all, just to pull this up.
So Trump loved the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Epstein loved the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. That goes to show you that they all a team. Trump, Epstein, Rockefellers, Rothschilds. They all in bed together.
Throw Clinton ass in there too.
Oh yeah, Clinton. Oh yeah, and all the presidents was down for Israel. All the presidents supported Israel.
Let's go ahead and just show y'all this, just to give y'all a reminder. Look, they all just chilling. Look, just chilling. Look, chilling. 1992 at Mar-a-Lago. Who there? Epstein. Look, just chilling. Just relaxing. Chilling at the party. Y'all love this guy though.
Look, dancing.
Look, dancing, talking, checking out the babes.
They look like friends to me. They look like friends to me.
Hold on though. Let's not leave this shit out.
If he got any closer, look like he'd kiss him on the cheek. Look at them laughing together. Look at that. Look like a great relationship.
All right, yeah, having fun, ain't they? Yeah, just having fun.
Hell nah. Somebody said y'all loved Hillary. Hell nah.
Hell, but Hillary.
Hillary?
Are you great? Listen, bro. Let's not forget.
Hillary.
Let's not forget. Hold on. Let me pull this up just to remind y'all. Y'all Democrat and Republican lovers. Yeah, for y'all Democrat and Republican lovers.
I don't like any of them. They all.
Let's not forget.
They all demons.
Look who it is. Look who it is. Look who it is. Mr. Bill Clinton and their Versace and Epstein in their Versace shirts. Look like they dressed for a Diddy video.
Look like they having a great gay old
time. Look like they dressed for a whole Diddy can't touch this. I mean, you know, can't stop, won't stop video. Look, Clinton and goddamn Epstein. Look at him. Look at him, just happily and merrily sitting up in hot tubs and pools and got young girls swimming around and look at that.
They thought we was for Hillary. Look
at that shit. Look at that. That's Bill. That's Bill and Epstein. We showed you Trump and Epstein. That's Bill and Epstein.
Right.
Stop believing this Democrat Republican shit. They all part of the same organized crime.
Facts.
They all part of organized crime.
No one is better. No one is better than the other one. They both guilty. There's no lesser evil. They both commit genocide, mass genocide, human trafficking, rape, murder. There's no lesser evils. They both wicked as hell.
I think there's a picture with all of them in the goddamn picture. Hold on. I think there's a picture with Epstein, Trump, the Clintons, the Trumps, and goddamn Epstein. Let me see. Epstein, Trumps, Clintons. There's a picture with all the motherfuckers together. I see the one with
You know
the
somebody,
Clint.
you know someone here old as shit talking about some. Can y'all speak proper English instead of jive?
Job.
Motherfucker said we
Hey,
speaking
job
jive.
turkey. Job turkey.
We speaking jive. That's funny as hell. I haven't heard that
Job
term in a
turkey.
long time.
All right.
We speaking.
Job turkey.
They said we speaking jive. That's insane, bro.
Job turkey.
Jive turkey.
What's the plane?
Jive turkey.
What's the scene on the movie Airplane and shit? When the stewardess came up
Oh yeah, right.
and
He
they
was
was
speaking
talking about
jive
his
and
stomach.
shit.
Yeah, when his stomach was hurt and she was talking job. She understood what they were saying.
When someone
That's
tell you you gotta speak proper English, they definitely brainwashed.
yeah.
You brainwashed as fuck. You 100% brainwashed. Yeah, I talk how my massa tell me to talk. My massa got tell me to talk right.
Hey, talk, boss.
Yeah, how you want me to talk, massa?
How you want me to talk, boss? Catch my meeting? You gotta talk like Fiddler? You gotta talk like Fiddler. Catch my meeting?
Motherfucker said we talking jive though.
Let's pick your
Motherfucker,
hair. Look.
motherfucker was born in the 50s and 60s. You old as shit in
Right.
here.
Right.
Jive. I haven't heard that
Let's
shit
turn
in a minute.
ads off.
You talking about we talking jive. Jive.
Fucking job turkey. Job turkey. So you got Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew,
Jive turkey.
Trump, Epstein, Trump, Epstein, Clintons. I'm gonna play the video.
Sex
Just trying to wait for this
teens.
commercial shit.
Epstein or sex teens? Epstein or
teens.
sex teens?
Your job turkey. Cut me some slack, Jack.
And he's running around and
This
now he's
guy's
running around
better
as Palm
bone.
Beach Pete shit.
Palm Beach Pete, right? It's the new Epstein, right? He got surgery.
Running around and I don't even think he looked just he ain't
All right, here
even
we
get
go.
surgery. He just reintroduced himself as Palm Beach Pete.
All right. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Oh, it ain't no sound.
No sound again?
We gotta hear this lady speak jive. Nope. We gotta hear her
Yeah,
speak
to the
jive.
bone. Get down to the bone. Cut me some slack, Jack. This is the
Somebody said don't talk that way. That same person said don't talk that way because Biden is gonna put you back in chains. Damn, you still live. Damn, what year you in? Biden ain't even president no more. What year you in? Biden might not even make it to 2027. And you talking about Biden might put us back in chains? The fuck?
Said, if you don't vote,
Biden ain't even president no more.
If you ain't vote for Trump, you ain't black.
New photos from the Epstein estate were just released. It comes as we get closer to the deadline for the Justice Department to publicize all documents related to the convicted sex offender's investigation. CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins us live right now. And Jake, what do we know about these new photos?
Good morning, Mugo. What we do know is that there were 19 photos released by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. Republicans on that committee have called out releasing only these 19 pictures because there are potentially thousands, 95,000, they say, that actually are the full trove of photos that were released from Jeffrey Epstein's estate to this Oversight Committee, which has been conducting its own review separate of that of the Justice Department of what happened in terms of the Justice Department's actions relating to Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. These photos show, as you can see them on your screen, anyone from former President Bill Clinton, President Trump, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, filmmaker Woody Allen, in addition to Bill Gates, Richard Branson, and Prince Andrew. These are just selected photos we should point out to our audience, but you can see obviously the very close relationships between Epstein and some of these very powerful men.
Look at Epstein and Bill Gates just chilling with a young chick up in there. She's chilling. Look at him. Look at him. Just chilling. Job turkey. Look at them job turkeys over there.
Losers, slackers, freaks,
geeks,
pedos.
All right, so let's do this real quick. Let's go ahead and go over to the J mail where on the Epstein files and shit that. Let's go over here real quick. Let's pull some shit up. Let's get into the J photos. Look at these Epstein. Look at all this Epstein Ghislaine shit. Look at these look at Clinton right there in the pool right there. Little job turkey. Look at this job turkey. Look at these job turkeys. Look. They all wearing their Versace shirts. Look at Ghislaine and goddamn Epstein. Look at him. Look at him. Look at Trump. I mean, look at Clinton right there chilling with Epstein with their Diddy shirts on. They chilling with their Diddy shirts. God.
Somebody said I'm a vet and I feel betrayed. All the vets should have been felt betrayed.
Yeah. Right.
Vets should have been felt betrayed, man. Y'all was sent out there on fucking dummy missions.
Facts.
For the corporations and banks. Not to defend America, not to keep America safe, but to make sure the central banks and all of them get to continue their mass genocide and their control all over the world. Key points around the world.
Right. The Clinton, the Jagger. The Prince Andrew and Clinton. Yeah. All these motherfuckers in cahoots. All of them in cahoots. Look, all of them could look. It's Trump right here. Epstein, look. More Epstein, look. Trump with a bunch of young girls. Look. Look. Trump and Epstein. Trump on his private plane. Look, Trump. That's Trump right there on Epstein's private jet. I don't know what that weird shit is. That's Trump again. That's Democrats and Republicans, y'all. Look, a bunch of young girls. Look, that's Trump right there with a bunch of young girls lined up with Epstein.
Both Democrats and Republicans are into this. And people are going to say, yeah, it's more Democrats than Republicans.
Look,
and
Bill
stuff
Clinton
like
right there with an underage girl sitting on his lap. Right there. That's Clinton. With Epstein. Well, that's Clinton with the private the pilot.
Blacker.
Epstein. Yeah. That's Clinton, McJagger, Ghislaine. Yeah. That's y'all beloved. That's y'all beloved politicians right there. Look, they even got the painting. Look, Epstein even had the painting of Bill Clinton dressed in a dress with red pumps on and shit like he Dorothy from goddamn Wizard of Oz. That's a famous painting of Clinton that Epstein had. Yeah.
I bet you Lewinsky is probably connected to Epstein too.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? If you dig far enough, you would probably find a Monica Lewinsky connection with Epstein. Right.
Yep.
Right. And that's how they blackmail. That's how they blackmail.
Same thing with Erica Kurt.
Right. Erica Kurt. Facts.
Let's not forget. Yep. Let's not forget. Who cares if they conservative or liberal? Who cares? All roads leads to Epstein. All roads leads to Rockefellers and Rothschilds. All roads then from there, all roads lead to the monarchs in Europe, and then from there, all roads lead to Rome.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the last road, the longest road, leads to Rome. You
Right.
know why they say that? Because we told y'all the black nobility is the ones that's running this shit.
Facts. There's some
Somebody said
video.
we're spilling lies. Oh, that same
Spilling
black
lies. How we spilling lies when we just pulling up the Epstein
What
file
lies?
here?
What lies
It's
have we
true.
told?
If the
City
proof was right here, it's shit right in front of your
0017.
face.
Could you please write a list of lies that we told, or you getting banned from the chat? Write down a lies. We want to see the list of lies that we told on this channel.
This Epstein right here. Ain't this Epstein? This the Epstein file. Look, he got little young girls and shit. This is what y'all listen. He was friends with Democrats and Republicans. This the shit they was into. Look, little girls and shit. This the shit they into.
Good. Yeah, that's incredible.
Look. It's the shit they into. What are we talking about here? Look. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? These guys is fucking pedos. All of them. All of them. All these politicians that was in cahoots with Jeffrey Epstein. What are we talking about? Then they just catch the Secretary of Homeland Security husband wearing balloon titties with pink blouses on and shit like that. Christy Nome husband. Then they just catch Christy Nome husband on some weird ass cross dressing ass balloon titties with pink blouses on and shit like that. What are we talking about here, y'all? What are we saying?
Balloon titties. Balloon titties. He had balloons on. Yeah, balloons.
Like, what are we saying here, y'all?
His blouse. He had balloons under his blouse.
What are we saying here? This shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, oh my god.
These people are just. Yeah, these people are. Listen, I ain't even gotta show y'all no more. This shit is disgusting, man. That's just act. Listen. It is what it is, man. It's up to it's really up. Right. It's really up to the American citizens what they gonna do, because like we said, these people are not gonna prosecute and put themselves in handcuffs and walk themselves into a cell. It's up to the American citizen. After this Epstein shit came out, it was back on the citizens to do something about it. It's up to the people, because these people are not going to investigate themselves, and that's the real truth.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what it boils down to.
That's what it boils down to.
The people is going to have to get up off their asses and do something about it, because they not going to investigate themselves. Now they got this Tom Blanche. What's his name? Tom Blanche took over as Attorney General.
Yeah, Todd Blanche. Yep.
Todd Blanche took over as Attorney General, and he said specifically he's shutting the ethics stuff down. They're not going to release any more files, and they're not going to investigate it anymore. They're going to make sure that they buddies get off scot-free. And Epstein is living it up as Palm Beach Pete on social media. And all the victims, there's no justice for any of them. And they're continuing operation as usual. It's crazy. There's no justice, y'all.
Right.
No justice.
No justice, no peace.
Nope.
Like we said, man, make sure y'all.
Americans gonna have to do it. Americans gonna have to bring the justice.
That's
I,
right.
I don't see that happening no time soon because they still stuck on who we should have voted for.
Right.
Or we should impeach President Trump. You can get Trump out of office all day. They just gonna replace him with someone else that's gonna do the same shit that he's doing because it's bigger than the president.
Right. Yeah, this is shit we dealing with. But yeah, they gonna continue to spend our tax dollars. You know, fund this criminal organization, this global criminal network, and
Losers,
American citizens.
slackers.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Click on all notifications for when we go live. Y'all know when we go live because we're gonna keep the information coming. We're gonna keep bringing awareness as we should. I mean, what else is there to do?
As we should. Yeah, because we
What else
can't.
is there
I
to do?
can't get on. I can't get on here and be a fake. Be fake. 'Cause that I mean that's what a lot of people like to come on here and just be fake. I
Nah,
can't do it. It ain't
gotta
in my
keep
power. I gotta talking. I gotta keep talking this real shit.
gotta keep exposing the corruption and bring awareness because most people, I mean, they got some people, you know, so distracted that the algorithm is basically controlling the narrative and got us so distracted that it's really hard for people to really pay attention to what's going on. So you might need certain platforms to bring certain awareness that people might not be privy to, or it might be there but they just can't see it because it's just so we've been bombarded with so much distraction on our timelines. So you might need certain platforms to really connect the dots and bring
Right.
it together. And that's why we do what the fuck we do.
Facts.
That's why we do what we do. Don't get distracted by the AI in the back. That's just backdrop that you're allowed to have backdrops. You know what I mean? So why not use, AI the right way?
And some of these are actual real pictures, but
Yeah,
you
these are
able
real
to
pictures
add
just brought up.
AI.
Yeah, well, everybody's seen the Clinton. That's Lex Wexner and Epstein. Of course, these are pictures real that just brought to life. These are real pictures, just AI allows you to just bring them to life and shit. But these are, as far as these, I don't know if these is real, those, but the ones with Clinton and Trump and Epstein, these are actually real pictures. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just backdrop shit. But anyway, this is just everything's falling. Yeah, everything is falling. Like everything is crumbling down. This empire is definitely going to fall.
Yeah, they not gonna accomplish a lot of the stuff they trying to
Yeah.
accomplish.
Right.
You see shit. Some shit just don't work out for them. Look how Facebook tried to do the whole meta thing. That shit ain't work out. They should have
Yeah,
just stayed as
metaverse.
Facebook.
Right.
They
Yeah,
should
they
have just
lost
stayed as
billions.
Facebook. Yep. They lost
Yeah,
hundreds of
they
billions
lost.
of dollars
Yeah,
fucking
they
around
lost
with
hundreds
that.
of billions on it was premature. People just wasn't fucking with metaverse like that.
A lot of shit that they doing is premature.
Right.
Some things they forcing down their throats that they not gonna compromise on, and that digital banking system is one of them.
Yeah.
The whole stable coins and digital
Right.
dollar, they not going back down from that one.
Yeah, they still deciding on passing the Clarity Act too, right? Because
Yep.
they already passed the Genius Act, and that's basically stable coins. So now they just trying to get clarity and regulations on it.
On the infrastructure, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, the Clarity Act is more so an infrastructure bill.
Yep.
Basically, how the banks and how the corporations is gonna act. How they gonna basically the whole digital currency world, the whole digital banking world. Yeah, this shit is crazy. Like this, the whole world is changing right now. We going through a reset.
Yeah, great. They say it always talk about the Great Reset. Right. The Great Reset. You always hear about that. Right.
Matter of fact, we should do a live stream on that eventually. On talking
Do
about
the
reset.
Great Reset.
Yep, about what's really going on, what is really taking place, why everything happening. Because we headed towards a reset.
Right.
So they
Right.
got that's basically destroying the old system so they can build the new one on top of it.
Yeah.
And they don't give. And when it comes to that, they really don't give a fuck about no Democrats or Republicans. They use both sides to do that.
Right. Facts.
Man, shout out to y'all, man, for tuning in, man. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all like
Yes,
and
sir.
share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And check us out over there at nightandayherbals.com, where we sell the best herbal products on the market. Yeah, uncompromised. You know, the best herbal products you're gonna find on the market, made by small businesses, entrepreneurs, small farms. You know, where we specialize in quality over quantity. We got all types of products over there: hair care products, skin care products. We got soap, lotions. We got pain bombs. We got the CBD, all different types of CBD, all forms of CBD, whether it's trim or CBD pre-rolls, cigarettes, vapes, all with high quality CBD grown on small Amish farms in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So it's high quality CBD you're getting from us. We've been in business for 7 years now. A lot of people depend on our products. Shout out to y'all who've been purchasing from us. A lot of y'all products went out this week. Yeah, man, we want to thank y'all. nightandayherbals.com. Link is pinned to the top of the chat and is also going to be in the description box of this video. Also get to the website through the QR code at the top of the screen.
Facts. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on the next live stream. All right. Enjoy the rest of y'all. Enjoy y'all Friday. Enjoy y'all weekend. You know, y'all will see us again. All right. So
I'm not even gonna lie. The joint pain I deal with every day will slow me all the way down. But ever since I started using this right here, Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, everything changed. And within minutes, I feel the difference. Like real relief. Now I can clean my whole house without even thinking about the pain. As a nurse, I'm on my feet all day. And this right here helps me get through my entire shift. I can actually enjoy time with my kids now. Go outside, be active, without hurting the whole time. It feels good to just live again. Honestly, if it wasn't for Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, I don't think I'd have the quality of life I have right now.
Discomfort slows you down? Reach for natural relief. Night and Day Hemp's extra strength CBD pain relief balm melts into aching muscles, delivering warmth you can feel. Soothe your body naturally. Feel free to move again. Night and Day Hemp Balm melts away tension so you can enjoy every moment. Feel the difference fast. Real relief, real results. Order now at Night and Day Herbals.